CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
And we begin with breaking news. Chopper 5 was over the scene of a deadly shooting in San Francisco's Potrero Hill neighborhood. This is at Dakota and 25th Streets, where San Francisco police say that 2 people were shot just after 10 this morning, broad daylight. One of them has died. A wide stretch of the block is taped off, white tent set up over a body at the center of the scene. We're also hearing that Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, just a few blocks away, was placed on lockdown as a precaution. We've reached out to police for more details. We will be getting them soon, and we'll be bringing updates as soon as we learn them. Our other top story, teachers in Oakland avoid a strike. They say they reached a deal with the district after marathon negotiations. Thanks for joining us this Friday. 18 hours. That is how long Oakland teachers say it took to reach a tentative agreement. As Veronica Macias reports, it is a sigh of relief even as the budget crunch continues for the district.
We are necessary workers, and the students need us, the neighborhoods need us, and the community needs us.
Educators in Oakland are celebrating a last-minute deal with Oakland Unified and a teachers' strike that now won't happen. After months of negotiation, the union and the district reached a tentative agreement around 3 a.m. Friday after an 18-hour bargaining session.
It's a relief because there's no interruption in instructions, right? I don't have to worry about where my students are going to be, what that would look like for them if we did go out on a strike.
Under the 2-year deal, the highest paid educators would get a 13% raise. All other educators would see an 11% wage increase over the next 2 years. The agreement also includes extra pay to keep credentialed teachers in early education and special education jobs.
I was sitting out for like a week or two.
This 10th grader remembers how his family handled a week-long Oakland teacher strike back in 2023 and says educators deserve better.
Being a teacher is really hard, and for what they're being paid is crazy. The working day is extremely long, students being students.
But this win for teachers comes as Oakland Unified faces a major budget crunch, an estimated $100 million deficit next year. The school board just voted to eliminate about 400 positions to help close that gap.
We need to stand together, and we need to figure out a way for everyone to stay employed and everyone to get paid. Yeah, so we can keep on teaching these awesome kids here. You feel me?
For now, parents and educators are breathing a sigh of relief. Classrooms staying open as the district figures out how to pay for the deal.
Well, at the core of it, we need to keep our teachers where they teach, where they live. And it's, everything is expensive, as we know. And it is just, right.
We have reached out to Oakland Unified for a statement on the deal, still waiting to hear back. In the South Bay, the Alum Rock Union School District approved a plan to cut more than 3 dozen jobs this year. The district says most of those cuts will affect non-teaching jobs. That comes as the district faces a more than $8 million budget deficit. The district also closed 6 schools in Alum Rock this year because of steep drops in enrollment. Now to a big Friday sell-off on Wall Street. Here is a look at the big board. Right now, the Dow is down about 700 points. That drop fueled by growing concerns about the impact of AI. One of the world's biggest AI companies, meantime, not backing down in a standoff against the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is demanding that San Francisco-based Anthropic turn over its technology without a number of safeguards or risk losing its $200 million contract. Anthropic has until this afternoon to agree, and if it doesn't, Hegseth says he will force the company's hand. Negotiations right now appear to be at a stalemate. Anthropic CEO and San Francisco native Dario Almodi released a statement saying in part, quote, "These threats do not change our position. We cannot in good conscience accede to their request." Lauren Toms has more on this ongoing battle between the Pentagon and a local AI giant.
The future of warfare may be coded right here in San Francisco.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has given a Friday deadline to San Francisco-based AI company Anthropic, demanding the company grant unrestricted use of its systems. CBS News reports Anthropic has asked defense officials to adhere to guardrails for the military's use of its AI platforms, including limits on mass surveillance of U.S. citizens and a requirement that humans remain involved in final targeting decisions. But the Pentagon reiterates it only wants to use the technology in legal ways. But at the same time, it does not want Anthropic to dictate any limits. San Francisco State AI ethics professor Carlos Montemayor warns such broad use of Anthropic systems could have potentially lethal consequences, particularly for a technology that is not immune to errors on the battlefield.
I expect all sorts of technology to be weaponized. That would be naive not to expect that. To me, the biggest red flag is that the companies are not being honest.
The intensified pressure comes as Anthropic, known for its AI model Claude, reportedly scrapped its safety pledge that promised to withstand market pressures in the name of responsible development of a potentially dangerous technology. Anthropic saying the move is necessary to stay competitive in a rapidly changing field.
That shows that they're not really at all in the business of protecting humanity or having ethical guidelines. Those ethical guidelines can quickly change under pressure.
Montemayor says money is also a key player. Anthropic signed a $200 million contract with the Pentagon just last year to adapt its AI systems for military capabilities.
Well, the military is a huge source of profit. And of course, being in good terms with the military is important for them. So I think the dollars are a big driver of what's happening. But I also think that the political atmosphere is also a big driver.
That shift has drawn attention from state lawmakers, as State Senator Jerry McNerney has authored legislation aimed at creating guardrails for government use of artificial intelligence.
AI makes mistakes, and there's no moral center to it. It just does what it does. I am very disappointed that the Pentagon is determined to get access to unfettered use of this technology without really understanding what its limits and boundaries should be.
But Montemayor believes the outcome of these talks may already be clear.
I think that one way or the other, the Pentagon will get what they want, either from them or from another company, very likely from Anthropic.
So if the deadline passes with no deal, the Pentagon could invoke the Defense Production Act. That would give the president the power to force the company to allow unrestricted use of its technology in the interest of national defense. We are going to keep following that for you. One of Anthropic's main competitors, OpenAI, is landing one of the biggest tech funding deals ever, closing a $110 billion round backed by Amazon, NVIDIA, and SoftBank. The San Francisco-based company says Amazon will put in $50 billion, while NVIDIA and SoftBank are each investing $30 billion. That pushes OpenAI's value to about $730 billion. Yeah. OpenAI says other investors are expected to join as the round continues. OpenAI is also launching a major expansion in Silicon Valley. According to the Mercury News, the company has leased more than 400,000 square feet of office space in Mountain View. This is at 350 and 380 Ellis Street, right by Highway 101. The report says OpenAI leased the buildings for the next 10 years. All right, to something a little less complicated, our first alert weather now as we look toward the weekend. It's feeling warmer than usual as we get ready to wrap up February. Here is meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Wrapping up February, but it feels like it's spring. I mean, let's take a look at our first alert weather headlines real fast. Today, we're sitting above average. The National Weather Service has put out a minor heat risk, especially for those inland areas. It's a warm day today and tomorrow. Might even feel spring/summer-like, but then by Sunday, we're right back to cooler weather with another warm up into next week. Here we go into that spring-like pattern where it's kind of a roller coaster for us with some heat waves rolling in and then some cool air pushing in from our shoreline. Here's what's happening for us today, though. We're talking about 70s as we step outside, putting us above average in San Francisco and Half Moon Bay. Low 70s there, upper 70s widespread throughout our inland spots. Antioch today at 75 degrees. We go all the way down along the coast into places like Santa Cruz and Monterey. We're also holding on tight to upper 70s there. The warmest microclimates for us today are Hollister and Salinas. both in the 80s. And we'll see more 80s trickle their way in throughout our inland spots tomorrow as we continue to warm up. You take a live look behind me from our rooftop cam here at KPIX. It's blue water and blue skies. So take it slow out there today. It's beautiful, but you definitely want to get some fresh air in.
Okay, yes, it is beautiful. Happy Friday. That's the good news of the day. Do have
new details, meantime, about a confirmed case of measles in Santa Clara County. Health officials say an adult tested positive after returning from international travel and is now isolating at home. Get this, the person was vaccinated. We're told that person visited work, medical sites, and a Panda Express in Burlingame while contagious. So they're urging anyone who might have been exposed to call their doctor first and check their MMR vaccination status.
If you haven't been vaccinated or you don't know your vaccine status, call your doctor and you can either get an additional dose of measles vaccine. There's no harm in getting vaccinated a second time if you were vaccinated as a kid and don't have any records of that, or they may be able to run a blood test to see if you've previously received the vaccine.
This comes after Napa and San Mateo counties reported new measles cases as well last month. Other Bay Area headlines we're following. Police in San Jose want to tighten how they use flock license plate cameras. Chief Paul Joseph is asking the city council to cut data retention from 1 year down to 30 days and ban cameras from tracking cars at houses of worship and reproductive health clinics. The move comes amid growing concern that these cameras can help immigration enforcement. Some South Bay cities have already cut ties with the company Flock. In Santa Rosa, deputies busted what they call one of the largest cockfighting operations in the Bay Area. The Sonoma County Sheriff's Office says more than 800 roosters were seized at the property. Investigators also found timers, betting slips, and veterinary drugs and supplements. One suspect was arrested on animal cruelty and bird fighting charges. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. Every drop comes from somewhere. How one Bay Area teacher is connecting students to their water, giving them reasons to protect it. Plus, speaking of, the latest snow survey just in, how recent storms have made a real difference in our snowpack. In today's Project Earth, 4 years ago, an East Bay native started a 240-mile trek, all to bring attention to water. Now her journey continues in local classrooms, and the students are soaking it all up.
There you go. Hurrah!
Meet Nina Gordon-Kirsch. 4 years ago, the 12th grade teacher spent about a month walking 240 miles. She carried a sign that asked,
"Where does your water come from?" And then on the back side, it has information about my journey. I'm walking from the Bay Area through the Delta to the Central Valley to the foothills of the Sierra up to Highland Lakes.
Nina's journey ended in the Sierra Nevada at Highland Lakes, the headwaters for the McCullummy River, the East Bay's primary source of drinking water. The trek was to show students about the source of their water and to encourage conservation.
Maybe just when they turn the tap on, they have a picture of Highland Lakes or of the McCullummy River, and they can piece together where their water comes from and have a sense of belonging.
You said a whale.
Now that sense of belonging has come back to the Bay Area. In this case, the 9th grade science class at Coliseum College Prep Academy in Oakland.
So they're learning about Oakland water. They're not learning about like how water systems work in, in Asia or Europe or like world water systems. They're learning specifically about water systems like where they live.
It was my dream when I was doing the walk 4 years ago to talk to Bay Area students about where their water comes from, and now it's actually happening.
Thanks to funding from Alameda County's Clean Water Program and East Bay Mud, Nina is partnering with Rivers for Change, a local nonprofit seeking to change the way people think about water.
The earlier the better, right, that you can connect people to their water, to their river systems, understand holistically how they're connected to a larger ecosystem and how they're connected to each other as communities.
The students learn about how their water travels from the Sierra Nevada through reservoirs, pipes, and aqueducts to finally end up in their homes. They also learn about pollution. Nina used a special model of a town where students simulated a rainstorm with spray bottles. The model shows how stormwater washes everyday pollutants from the roads to the farms into the town's rivers and streams. Students Mohammed Mohsen and Edson Barbosa soaked it all in.
Like yesterday when I went home and washed the dishes, I didn't really use as much water because I'm like, wow, I don't want to waste it anymore.
As a person living in the Bay, I want to know where my water comes from, and I want to make sure that it's clean, and so that I don't get sick.
As for Nina, 4 years ago, her journey might have ended at Highland Lakes, but her lessons are only just beginning.
If more humans had relationship with where their water comes from and where it goes, they'll care more about water.
One step at a time for every single drop. For more information on how local teachers can add the program to their own curriculum, you can go to our website, kpix.com. Well, speaking of water, not great news here. Our state's snowpack is falling further behind despite a much-needed boost from the recent storms. The latest snow survey shows that snowpack levels are now at 66% of normal. At Phillips Station, water crews just measured 28 inches of snow, which is about 1 foot of water content. That is less than half of the average for this date. Officials say this trend could threaten our water supply if more rain doesn't come soon. Kind of frustrating because, of course, we were just talking about the feet of snow falling in the Sierra.
I know. And the reality is, you take a look at those numbers. I know water managers across the state right now working with reservoirs. They're probably really concerned and tense. Like, okay, I guess we're going to hold on to as much as we can, release as few or as small as we can, and of course, try to just preserve it for this year as we head into the next couple months. Now, I want to start off with conditions today. It is a dry day, and not only is it a dry day, look at those skies behind me. Blue skies, blue water, and I'm going to pull up the temperatures right now. San Francisco and Oakland both sitting in the low 70s, mid 70s actually across the Bay Bridge in Oakland, with upper 70s widespread throughout our inland areas. Today is above average all throughout the Bay. And as we make our way all the way down along the coast in places like Santa Cruz, stretched all the way down into, let's say, Monterey, for example, we're also in the upper 70s there. Some of the warmest microclimates this afternoon, all the way over to Hollister and Salinas. So with that in mind, today and tomorrow, we are warming up and drying up. But right around the corner, we get a quick splash of showers. Not a big monumental event by any means. I mean, we're going to get a quick splash on Sunday, dry up Monday, and then another quick one on Wednesday of next week. So advancing the clock all the way into Sunday, just into the evening hours that night. Notice how it doesn't even hit all the Bay Area. These are just light coastal showers sweeping in from offshore with a surge of clouds continuing to push in as we head into our Monday forecast of next week. But this is in the overnight hours. Many of us are still asleep at that point. So we're going to track that Doppler radar closely here in the Bay. And as we take a look at the next 7 days, well, that big warm up that we have right now quickly comes to an end as we head into Sunday. That system pushing in with all those clouds and light showers is a cold front. So we're going to jump from the low 70s to the low 60s just within 1 day alone, and then hold on tight to 60s as we wrap up that week heading into next upcoming weekend. We'll keep you updated on that forecast here in the Weather Center, but for now, we'll be right back.
The Sunset Night Market returns tonight to San Francisco. The popular event draws thousands to Irving Street for food, music, and culture. It was canceled last year over funding and planning issues, but neighborhood businesses rallied to bring it back. Lion dancers are going to help kick off the family fun and the Lunar New Year celebrations starting at 5 o'clock. Coming up next here on CBS News Bay Area, fast food meets AI. How the tech could help employees and maybe make your customer experience a little bit more pleasant. There is a new coworker on the line at Burger King, and you guessed it, she's AI. The chain is testing AI-powered headsets that send data on restaurant operations to a new digital assistant they're calling Patty, appropriately enough. So she talks to employees. Patty can recite recipes, flag low inventory, and even track how polite workers are with customers. The company is testing the system at about 500 U.S. locations. That is it for the afternoon edition this Friday. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to Live and then choose Bay Area.